Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Era of Content YouTube channel. So it's been a while since the end of Moon Knight, everyone, last Wednesday, and I haven't made my final episode review yet. So today I'm really excited to bring this to you all to talk about this final episode, plus just the overall thoughts of the series and what I believe the future holds for Moon Knight and this particular franchise within the MCU. So first off, let's just talk about this episode. And I did lay out some things that I really hope to see within this episode, the last review episode video. And let me just say they delivered. Now I have been pretty, I would say, critical of some aspects of Moon Knight, or at least I would say that some aspects have made it not my personal favorite MCU series, and I'll get into some reasons, and talk about that why later. However, this finale, one of the best that I think the MCU series have had. I was so impressed with what they did. They really, I think, hit the bases on what needed to be done, and then so much more that I was not expecting, particularly one thing. So let's get into this. I'm going to go right into spoilers here. I think what I mentioned in the previous video, some things I wanted to see. Ammit was number one. Like, we really have to see Ammit in this finale in some form or another. And I was really hoping in a form similar to Khonshu or Taweret, and that's exactly what we got in a really awesome way. So seeing the giant alligator god or goddess with Ammit all on display, ready to fight. That was so cool. Particularly here with Ammit, I love the Khonshu Ammit fight. That was really cool, and how each of them got really large, fighting next to the pyramids, behind the Egyptian, or in front of the Egyptian landscape. So neat. That was really cool. And I'm going to mention this a little bit more later, but one of the critiques of my previous episodes has been sort of the middle of the series has been very light on superhero aspects. Obviously, Mark lost, and Steven lost the ability to connect with Khonshu because Khonshu was trapped. So I was super glad to really see the superhero portion of the series front and center in this episode. Really awesome fight scenes. I really loved the fighting sequence when Moon Knight and Mr. Knight were switching forms sort of back and forth. That was just fantastic. And even beyond that, because I really was excited to see the superhero aspect of that. I was not expecting one additional superhero to show up in this series here. So we sort of heard how Khonshu wanted to have Layla as the next avatar for him, and that doesn't happen, but instead we see Layla ask Taweret to be her own temporary avatar, and we get the Scarlet Scarab. This outfit is so cool. I'll just say I'm a sucker for any superhero with wings here. I love the Falcon, and I love now being Captain America. Both of those outfits I loved, and how the flying worked I love so much. This is just so awesome too. Really cool design with sort of the gold, which is a bronze copper look, and some of the red on the sides there. Really neat design, and her fighting sequences as well at the end there. Fantastic. The introduction of her along with Moon Knight fighting, such a cool dynamic, and it makes me so much more excited for the future of this character and of this Moon Knight franchise. I was really, really liking the superhero aspect of Moon Knight, of what Moon Knight could be at least, and I was worried, really the past few episodes we hadn't seen that. We got that so much here, and then of course the introduction of Scarlet Scarab with Moon Knight, perfect. Loved it so much. I really hope, she sort of said this was temporary, and we see Mark and Steven, give up their status as Avatar, I guess I would say, with Khonshu, and it seems like they won't be a superhero anymore, but I really hope they are, because these are fantastic characters, and I want to see them in the future. So let's talk about that now. So of course we have to talk about the post-credit scene, and I'm conflicted on this. I'm very conflicted on how I see the future of this could go. I think in the long term we are going to see more of the superhero stuff. However, like I've said, one of the main critiques of the series for myself personally is that it was very much an origin story of the person, and then it sort of put the superhero aspects on the back burner there. I'm glad we did get the superhero stuff that we got, and I'm also glad that I think they effectively portrayed someone struggling with dissociative identity disorder quite well. However, the middle episodes where that took more of a front seat, I don't think they were as interesting to me personally, solely because I do view this as a superhero show. I'm glad to see Steven and Mark sort of came to terms with each other and really accepted each other, and I think really sort of love each other for who they are because they've been through a lot together, and I'm glad they sort of have control of each other now. However, at that point I was really hoping, okay, next project we see these two identities in, they're going to be a superhero together. However, it seems like we might have another season or project, whatever comes next, focused more on the origin of the character still than the character moving into being the full superhero that they could be within the MCU. And that's of course because of Jake Lockley here. So I don't know what the future could hold in terms of what the project actually is. They always called this a limited series, but some promotions recently called this the season finale. So that sort of makes it sound like there's going to be a season 2. But who knows? Like I said, I am coming here for superhero content. I'm glad they effectively portrayed Steven / Mark, or Mark, I guess, because he's the person here making the identities. I think they did a really good job, and I think that was important. However, I was really hoping at this point now, because we seem to find that acceptance, I was hoping that the future would be more superhero grounded than focused on maybe his particular struggle with identity. However, it seems like the next project could be another struggle there, this time struggling on how to get Jake Lockley in control, sort of, essentially. I'm not exactly sure how to say that. At the end of the day, I know in the future, after that, sooner or later, we're going to see Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, and whoever else at their full superhero potential. I'm pretty confident in that because I think this is just a wonderful superhero for the MCU as a whole. But I do think there's going to be another project related to sort of coming to terms with another identity. At the end of the day, I know there will be some superhero stuff in that, and I also know it'll still be done pretty well because I think this was done very well as well. So overall, critique of the series here, or my main thoughts of the series, really well done. I think it was a very fair depiction and a depiction of something that was very much unknown to society, of dissociative identity disorder. I don't think people really know about that disorder to the extent that they might know about it now, having watched this series. Obviously, this is with a superhero angle, so there's Egyptian gods and superpowers and whatnot. So obviously it's not going to be completely grounded in reality, but I do think it's going to create an understanding for a lot of people about dissociative identity disorder, and I think that's done a lot of good. So I do think the future, a focus, another season or a project related to the Jake Lockley situation, with Khonshu still connected there, could be interesting, and I think they will do it well. So overall, I really like the beginning episode. The middle episodes were good, and I'm glad we did get that character development, but I'm also very glad that the finale really wrapped it up with a big superhero finish. I think it was a nice balance to really, especially for Moon Knight, who's a very complex character, get the character development, and then of course show the power and strength that he has after, Mark and Steven are sort of, coming together and fighting together and sort of being confident in each other. So overall, I think this was a very difficult project to handle, and I think it was done very well. So hats off to Marvel for doing this. So especially because this was sort of an unknown character. So I think well, at least to mainstream audiences. So I think that was a well done, first MCU series about a character that's sort of new and not already connected to the MCU. So, there's some risks there, and I think it was done quite well. So overall, an interesting series, and especially the characters that they introduced. I'm so glad that they did. I love Stephen, Mark, and Layla now at this point, and I think all three of them, like I said, when I say that, I mean, Mark, I sort of struggled with liking at the beginning, but of course now, I do feel like I have a much more appreciation of him. And of course, Steven and Layla, always awesome throughout the whole series. I like them right from the start, but Mark too now, I really appreciate and really like. So, really awesome. I can't wait to see these characters in the future, and then of course seeing how they connect, of course, then into the larger MCU as a whole. So cool stuff. I'm really glad to have watched this series, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you appreciated, or at least enjoyed hearing my thoughts about this, and I'd love to hear yours as well. So thank you, I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.